So what's the ethical importance of carrying out a patient's wishes when the patient lacks decision-making capacity?
I feel very strongly about this. It's very paramount to me that those wishes are treated with respect, because the patient, when they were in their right mind, took the time to go through and say, this is what I want in these situations.
Sure.
And to override that, I think is pretty wrong. I know it happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I think it doesn't respect the patient's wishes at all. And, I know if I was in the situation where I filled out an advance directive and I said, I don't want any of this, whether it be a peg tube or a trach or whatever the case may be, if I go through and I fill that out, I don't want anybody overriding that.
Yeah.
And, these patients have taken the time to go through these, and I'm sure they thought them out when they were filling out the paperwork, and they were in their right mind. And, to override that, I think is just wrong. I know we let the family override those things. And, I know it can be tough on the family. You don't want to let go, but you need to take into account what your loved one wanted.
Yeah.
When they were in their right mind. So.
Yeah, and also, just consider perspective that maybe the decisions you're making that go against your loved one's wishes are not in the benefit of your loved one, but potentially to the benefit of your own emotional state.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's never easy for anybody to lose a loved one. It never will be easy for anybody to lose a loved one. So trying to satisfy an emotional satiety on your behalf is unethical and unfair to somebody that's made it very clear what their desires are, what they consider life to be, and the kind of life they wish to live.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I wish there was some way to make that stop happening, but
Well, a very simple way around this is actually granting a medical power of attorney to someone that you are assured might actually carry out your wishes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Once you grant that power of attorney, it doesn't matter that somebody is a closer relation to you. Your power of attorney has the decision-making power because you've appointed them.
Yeah.
So you can override the family's wishes in order to carry out what the patient wanted.
Sure.
Which is the right thing to do.
Yeah, so Adam and I are of no familiar relation, but if I granted him stewardship of my medical power of attorney, then in an incident where I'm incapacitated, even though my wife would be the first person that would consent on my behalf legally, this document actually goes beyond what her default granting of stewardship is, and gives Adam that stewardship instead.
Yeah.
So it's very important when determining who is going to be your medical power of attorney that they're very well trained on what you would expect to happen in these situations. Maybe give them documentation of what your expectations too. That would be ideal with like advanced directives.
Exactly. Yeah. Making it crystal clear what you want and appointing somebody who will carry out your wishes, despite taking what I can assume would be quite a bit of heat from family.
Absolutely.
If they had other ideas.
Yeah.
But I think again, patient wishes are paramount and they should be respected and followed through with.
Yeah. So have you observed a lack of understanding in patients or their default decision makers in regards to their health?
Working down in the pharmacy, we didn't have a whole lot of patient interaction, and right now I'm on a telemetry unit, so
Sure.
I don't have to deal with those end-of-life things, knock on wood, right now. But, we'd hear about it down there in the pharmacy, like, oh, this patient's still here, they're on all these drips. keeping them going, what's going on with that, and our clinical pharmacist who's on the floor would say, the family thinks that they're going to pull through this and they're going to come out of it, and you can go and read the physician notes, and all of them will say there's no functionality, there's no coming back, there's been brain death, but family wants to hold on to the hope, and that's okay. That's okay to an extent. You want to have hope, you want to have faith, that's great. But there does come a time where you have to make a decision, and the decision's usually, are we going to put in a trach and a peg tube and send you to a long-term acute care facility to live out your days in basically a vegetative state, or are we just going to withdraw care and let nature take its course? And if you filled out an advance directive that says you don't want a peg tube, you don't want a trach, if there's nothing that can be done, just let me go in peace, then we need to make that tough decision, or the family needs to make that tough decision and let the patient go. It's a matter of doing what's right.
Yeah, so your physicians will give you prognoses based on, evidence-based practice and statistics and their own, thorough experience with these processes. And it's really important that when a physician expresses, or multiple physicians express, a very assuredness in a prognostic state, such as you will never get out of bed again, you will never eat again, you will never talk or comprehend language again, that their words are heeded with great severity.
Yeah, they're giving you the information. Whether or not you want to accept it is a different issue, but the physicians are there to provide care, and when they tell you that there's nothing more that can be done, they're not doing that lightly. They're not doing that, to get this patient off of their patient load. Their job is to get the patient better. That's them admitting that they can't do anything else. That's so you really need to understand that when they say it's over, it's over. I mean, they're not giving up just to give up. People may think that, well, maybe we can get a different doctor to say something different, or, I've seen things on TV where people pull out of this, and TV's fun to watch, but TV's not real. When the physician says it's over, it's over. And when multiple physicians say it's over, it's definitely over.
Yeah. That's when, generally miracles don't take place.
Yeah.
And in terms of what, you would consider a miracle in these kinds of situations taking place, maybe it's happened. It's probably 1 in a million. It's probably not going to happen for you.
Yeah.
Especially with multiple complications, or when we're dealing with, elderly patients. There's so much that goes into this, so just heeding the words of your physician and really absorbing what they're saying is really important when they give you prognosis.
Yeah.